evening and welcome once again to Portland Post 158 Barbers American Baseball, live from Hillsboro Ballpark, home of the Hillsboro Hops, the single-A Northwest League affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Hops are on the road this week at Tri-City, so the Barbers and the Hops will get to enjoy this minor league ballpark for one more evening tonight. Last night it was the Barbers getting all they could handle in a defensive affair, a 3-2 victory over the Hops, but the Barbers had been averaging over 11 runs coming into last night's contest, and Barbers scored a run in each of the first two innings, and then Hillsboro kind of shut down the Barbers offensively, did a great job of limiting Barbers base runners, had a couple of opportunities to actually take the lead later midway through the contest, had runners at third, but just unable to get a runner to the plate to tie or take the lead as the Barbers improved to 9-0 with the 3-2 victory in 7 innings last night. Again, everything will culminate for American Legion Baseball in the state of Oregon July 26th through the 31st at Joe Etzel Field on the campus of the University of Portland in kind of the northwest part of Portland, St. John's area on the University of Portland campus. The winner of the Oregon AAA American Legion Baseball State Tournament will advance to the Northwest Regionals, either held in Montana, I believe held in Montana this year. It kind of rotates between Montana, Wyoming, and I believe Kirkland, Washington, home of Costco, for host sites for the Northwest Regional Tournament. Then the winner of that tournament will advance to the American Legion World Series held in Shelby, North Carolina in August, and it was either the COVID year or the year following COVID that Idaho Falls actually took home the American Legion World Series crown. We'll take a 2-minute break, get our scoreboard refreshed from last night and get that reset. When we come back, we'll also get you a look at the lineups for both teams. This is Post 158 Portland Barbers Baseball on Westside'sGreatestHits.com and the Westside Mobile Media YouTube channel.
Jim's Market in Banks is an institution serving the community for generations. They're actively involved in events and athletics from the youth league to high school level. Let them serve you with their locally grown fresh produce, fresh bakery items, including custom cakes, and quick hot food from their in-store deli. Jim's Market, conveniently located at the south entrance to Banks.
Same great smile, same great service, but a brand new location and a great new team. Sarah Hesselman Group is still proud to support Banks High School athletics, but has now joined the Premier Property Group real estate team with new offices located in Bethany. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, contact the Sarah Hesselman Group, Sarah at sarahhesselman.com, or call 503-313-0748.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good? I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
And we're back Thursday, June 19th, just a few minutes before 6 o'clock. Coaches come out for the exchange of lineups and the the meeting with the umpires. Barbers will be in their red uniforms, Barbers black lettering and numerals on the front, with black numerals with white trim on the back, also white trim on the lettering and numerals on the front. Black hats with red Boston B, red Bills. Hillsboro, the road team tonight, baby blue or Columbia blue uniforms with the Wet Sox logo between the shoulder blade. On the back, white numerals with their kind of teal or dark blue trim. And Hillsboro Wet Sox spelled out across the chest, Hillsboro in white, and Wet Sox in teal with white trim across underneath Hillsboro on the front of the jerseys. Light blue hats with the Wet Sox logo and the teal bill of the cap. Dimensions here at Hillsboro Ballpark, 325 down the left field line, 400 to straightaway center field with a big blue wall that extends a good probably 30 or 40 feet above the top of the wall in right field, or center to center right field, and 325 down the right field line. The reason for the wall in center field, there is a softball field and a player area just beyond the edge of the center field wall, just to the right of where the bullpen area is, and that is to protect any passersby walking between the areas from any home run balls during home games. Taking a look at the Barbers lineup defensively, as Hillsboro will bat first as the road team. Starting pitcher tonight for the Barbers, number 22, Calvin Martinez at first base. Will be number 7, Declan O'Brien. Playing at second base, number 8, Jaden Nakamura. At shortstop, number 4, Joe Fagan. At third base, number 18, Dakota Chun. In the outfield, number 15, Griffin Scott in left. Center fielder will be number 9, Max Bishop. And in right field, number 33, Miles Ott. For the Wet Sox, leading off number 13, right fielder Quentin Olson, followed by number 22, Nigel Folland at shortstop. Number 14, Diego Richards, third baseman, will bat third. And Eli Brial, who was the starting pitcher last night, great sidearm delivery, limited the Barbers offense, did a great job on the mound for the Wet Sox with his sidearm delivery. He will be the designated hitter. Number 10, Grayson Grover at first base. Number 2, Shea Munoz Cooper in left field. Number 20, Leland Boswell in center field. Number 8, Sawyer Hewitt behind the plate. Number 24 at second base, Cole Thomas, and starting pitcher number 4, Anthony Leo. White Sox are being introduced as we speak. Again, this is the 100th anniversary of the American Legion Baseball Organization, supporting all-star baseball at the 13 to 19-year-old level. Read a little bit about the history of American Legion baseball in the state of Oregon. Great players like Harold Reynolds and Dale Murphy, both members of or alumni of the Oregon American Legion baseball organization. Dale Murphy, of course, played his high school baseball at Grant, and Harold Reynolds, who had a long career of Major League Baseball in the Northwest, also made it to the major leagues and spent some time with the Mariners, graduating from Corvallis. Also has been involved with ESPN broadcasts of baseball. White Sox have been introduced. Now the Barbers come out individually along the third base line as their names are recognized. After players from both teams are introduced, we'll have the American Legion Baseball Code of Conduct. Kind of a moral oath or sportsmanship oath, if you will, similar to a lot of other youth organizations. And then we will have the national anthem for this evening. Barbers will have the weekend off, and I believe we do have a couple of home games next week, and then they'll be at a tournament. They may actually be at the Clackamas tournament this weekend. Barbers coached by Joe Duran. Hillsboro led by Mason Wright, head coach at Century. Now we will have the American Legion Code of Conduct, which players will repeat after given the lead by the public address announcer. And one moment as we recognize our nation with tonight's national anthem. And game conditions 68 degrees, just 1 minute past 6 o'clock, according to the time and temperature clock, just below the center of the scoreboard in left center field on the Jumbotron at Hillsboro Ballpark. Again, a new Hops Stadium being built over the top of a couple of former City Rec softball fields that should be ready in time for the home opener for next season. Hillsboro Hops play in the Northwest League Single A division of minor league baseball. Currently 2 Oregon teams in Northwest League. However, Eugene unable to get a new stadium built, which they've had some scheduling issues the last couple of seasons, sharing PK Park, which is basically in the same parking lot as Autzen Stadium, which the University of Oregon Ducks baseball team uses. And with the Northwest League season and minor league baseball getting moved up to late April, early May, it kind of coincides with college baseball and causing some issues for the Eugene Emeralds, which have a long run of historic baseball in the city of Eugene, going back to Civic Stadium in South Eugene. Leading off for the Hillsboro Red Sox, number 13, Quentin Olson, the right fielder. Salem Kaiser also had a minor league team, 2 different stints. First pitch from number 22, Calvin Martinez, misses badly outside to the left-handed hitter, 1-0. Pitch, misses outside in the dirt, 2-0. And talking a little bit more about Northwest League baseball, a lot of former Northwest League teams, Walla Walla, Bellingham, Medford, now playing college level baseball in one form or another. Bend has had a team in years past. They're now a member of the West Coast League. 3-0 the count. Calvin Martinez behind to Quentin Olson. Medford, formerly known as the Southern Oregon A's when they were a member of the Northwest League up until the mid to late 80s. Pitch taken for the first strike of the at-bat, 3-1. Hillsboro Hops came about as a result of the former Yakima Bears coming to the Tualatin Valley. Pitches lifted straight back off the end of the bat, out of play. Count is full, 3-2. Martinez, nice job to come back to work the count full after behind 3-0 in the count, and really not even coming close on his first 3 pitches. Three-two pitch from Martinez, up. Oh, strike 3 called on a late announcement from the home plate umpire. Olson was halfway to first before the home plate umpire rang him up. 1 out for Hillsboro after the opening strikeout to Quentin Olson. Now batting number 22, shortstop Nigel Folland. Bend Rockies, which were affiliated with Colorado during their last time in the Northwest League, now known as the Bend Elks in the West Coast League. 0-1 the count to Nigel Folland. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. One pitch. Strike 2 taken. Teams in the Northwest League currently, Everett, just north of Seattle. Again, or kind of pretty obvious they're the single A affiliate of the Seattle Mariners, known as the Aqua Sox, but their mascot is kind of a frog. Pitch is swung on off the third base side foul. 0-2 into the Hops. Not really beer garden, but area along the area of the concourse where they sell alcohol above the third base box seats. 0-2, grounded right back to the pitcher. Had to stick his glove out to kind of protect the ball from bouncing off his shin. It bounces off the heel of his glove. He's able to recover in time and make the throw to first for out number 1. Other teams in the Northwest League in Washington, the Tri-City Dust Devils, Richland, Pasco, Kennewick, about an hour north of the Dalles. That's where Hillsboro is tonight. Also, the Spokane Indians. Vancouver, British Columbia, which I think is where Southern Oregon moved after they left Medford, and Martinez plunks Diego Richards, the Hillsboro third baseman, with 2 outs, and he turns towards the third base line and just shakes his head, saying, "I can't believe it." Pretty upset that he got him in the meat of his back, though. Not really a too dangerous of a spot if you're going to get hit by the baseball. Check to first, not in time. Batting for Hillsboro, number 3, starting pitcher from last night, designated hitter this evening, Eli Brial. Is outside, 1-0. Martinez misses outside. When the new stadium opens next year, I'd really like to see the current baseball facility being used as a West Coast League home for a team in the Hillsboro area for college league baseball. In the Tualatin Valley, pitches up and in, 3-0, and Martinez kind of going back and forth. Run of balls, run of strikes, run of balls. Not really any consistency here early to start the game for the Barbers starter. 3-0 pitch, taken all the way for called strike 3-1 with 2 outs. Corvallis Knights, Portland Pickles, Springfield Drifters, as they're known, Longview, or Cowlitz, the team in Longview, Black Bears, Bend Elks, Yakima Pippins, Walla Walla, a team also, I can't remember their team mascot right now. That's going to be the first base hit of the game for Hillsboro, as that's going to get down into right field. Runners at first and third, and 2 outs. So they're going to send the runner to the plate, and he will score. Hillsboro with an early 1-0 lead. That's the first time they've actually taken the lead in the first 2 games between the Barbers, or in the 2 games against the Barbers. Number of teams in British Columbia, including Victoria. Pitch is inside to the Hillsboro hitter, I believe number 10, Grayson Grover, the first baseman. Want to know the count? Breaking ball misses high, 2-0. And again, Martinez continues to have issues finding the plate, except for the one that Brial teed off on for the first base hit of the game for Hillsboro to give them the early 1-0 lead. Pitch just misses low, 3-0. Medford, currently the home of, I believe it's the Pacific Empire League, college summer league that consists of teams mainly in Northern California. Medford Rogues playing at Harry and David Field in Medford. First pitch taken, or that's the first pitch of the at-bat, for a strike taken all the way by Grayson Grover. Been hearing some talk that Medford may once again get a single A affiliate team if that is indeed the final, or not, shouldn't say final, as Brielle steals second. Actually doesn't really go as a steal because they're going to walk Grayson Grover on a 3-1 pitch. But Medford could be the next home for the Eugene Emeralds. I've been hearing some spatterings of rumors about the Emeralds possibly going to Medford and a new baseball stadium being built there. 1-0 Hillsboro. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Martinez, right-hander, grounded back up the middle on a hop. Shortstop takes it to the bag at second himself. That would be Joe Fagan. But Hillsboro does get a run on a walk, and actually 2 walks and a base hit. The RBI from Eli Brielle on the long single to right center after half an inning. It's the Hillsboro White Sox 1 and the Portland Barbers 0. We'll be back with more Portland Barbers American Legion Baseball on WestSidesGreatestHits.com and the Westside Mobile Media YouTube channel.
Visit Main Street Pizza in Banks, located next to Jim's Market, for the best pizza in Washington County. From loaded hot baked subs to a Main Street special pizza piled high, we will satisfy your pizza cravings. We've been serving and supporting the Banks community since 1986. Open daily at 11 a.m. Call ahead now to place your order at 503-324-5858 or follow us on Facebook to see our daily lunch specials. Mention this radio ad and receive $2 off any Main Street pizza.
Explore your world with Donna Mallard Hawkins at Infinity Escapes Travel. She's a Banks alum and can help you find great deals on cruises with Regent Seven Seas and discounts on guests with Virgin Voyages and Royal Caribbean. Want to stay ashore? Check out featured tours like National Parks of the American West, like tours of Croatia and Madagascar. Book your next vacation with Donna Mallard Hawkins and Infinity Escapes Travel, calling 823-634-8080 or visit infinityescapestravel.com.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
And we're back, bottom of the first inning. Barbers now trailing 1-0. Gotta get that fixed on our scoreboard. Teams have actually switched sides. Barbers the home team tonight. First pitch taken by Jaden Nakamura, second baseman, for strike 1. Pitch is grounded to second. Throw to first in time for the 4-3 putout defensively for Hillsboro to open the bottom of the first. I'll bring up number 15, Griffin Scott, left fielder. Pitch is taken again for strike 1, and pitcher for Hillsboro doing a great start, coming out throwing strikes. First pitch strikes to the first 2 batters. Pitch A little bit low and outside that time, 1-1. One to Griffin Scott. Strike two at the knees. The 1-2 from Hillsboro starter Anthony Leo gets a swing and a miss for strike three, out number two for the Barbers. Pitch is in the dirt, ball one. First time Leo has missed on a first pitch to a Barbers hitter. Dakota Chun, third baseman at the plate, left-handed hitter. Leo, the right-hander, pitch is outside, 2-0. Two and one the count after pitch misses, or taken all the way for a strike. Now 3-1. Three-one pitch is lifted to right, backing up, making the catch for out number three is Quentin Olson to set down the Barbers in order in the home half of the first. After one full inning of play, it's Hillsboro 1 and the Barbers nothing. We'll be back with the top of the second inning in just a moment. Whether it's a steaming hot old-fashioned cup of joe or hot chocolate on a cold winter day, or an ice-cold Italian soda or iced coffee on a hot summer day, any time is a great time to stop by Scoggins Creek Coffee. With two locations in Gaston and Yamhill Carlton, their warm and friendly baristas will get you the delicious drink of your choice. Scoggins Creek Coffee, call 503-985-3483, 503-985-3483.
Proudly serving our neighbors in Washington County since 1946, LaHaye's is your destination for locally made Letterman's jackets, custom embroidery for business apparel or a unique gift, and scouting uniforms and supplies. LaHaye's is on the corner of 3rd and Main in historic downtown Hillsboro. Open Wednesday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 4, and anytime online at LaHaye's.
And we're back top of the second inning. Hillsboro a 1-0 lead, trying to hand the Portland Barbers their first loss of the season in their 10th game of the year. First pitch from Martinez in there for a strike over the outer half of the plate. To Hillsboro hitter center fielder Leland Boswell. 7, 8, 9 will come up in the top of the second inning. Pitch is a called strike two on the outside edge. The 0-2 pitch, strike three called, a ring him up, strikeout for Calvin Martinez, one out in the top of the second. Batting number 8, catcher Sawyer Hewitt. He did not play last night. At least we know he did not start. It's just outside, 1-0. Swung on and lifted back towards us. About 80% up the net, just off to the right behind home plate. 1-1. One pitch. Cutter on the inside half of the plate, 1-2. Martinez looking for his second strikeout of the inning. The 1-2 is low and away, evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two is way outside. Can't get him to chase. Count is full, 3-2 to Sawyer Hewitt, the Hillsboro catcher. Pants combinations for both teams. We did not get you that prior to the start of the contest. Hillsboro, again, the Columbia blue pants, grounded to second, and that's likely going to go as an error for Jaden Nakamura. He slipped just as the ball started to get to his glove and took a funny hop, and that's going to allow another base runner for Hillsboro to reach with 2 outs. Pitch is grounded foul off the third base side, 0-1. Batting for Hillsboro, number 24, second baseman, Cole Thomas. Hillsboro white pants with red pinstripe down the side. Throw to first. And Sawyer Hewitt just does fly under the tag, and up here looked like he almost floated back to the bag. Pitch is bunted foul off the right side near the Hillsboro dugout off the first base line. 0-2, and now Cole Thomas will likely have to swing the bat. Do not expect him to bunt with 2 strikes. And they do indeed give Jaden an error on that last play. Pitches up, throw to second. All got there on a hop as the runner arrived, and they nail Sawyer Hewitt at second base for out number 2, and that will take away the base runner for the Wet Sox in the top of the second, and a chance to get out of the inning with no base runners aboard with one more strike here from Martinez. The 1-2, 2 outs. Waved at and missed on a pitch off the plate in the dirt. And after an inning and a half, Hillsboro still no runs, no hits, no errors. And one of the Hillsboro coaches arguing something with the umpires, but it is indeed out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Hillsboro does get a base runner on a walk, but they empty the bases after he's caught stealing at second. After 1.5, Hillsboro 1, and the Barbers nothing. We'll be back in just a moment with the bottom of the second.
At One Credit Union, every individual is unique, with different needs, different wants, and different goals. This is who we are, and we live here. Our families live here. Our friends live here. This is our home. Because to us, you're not a number. You're an individual. Want a credit union. Individuals welcome.
O'Leary Air is proudly offering Dakin Comfort Pro HVAC products. They've been serving the West Side and Greater Portland Metro since 2015. They pride themselves in getting the job done right, backed by a legacy of integrity, respect, and honesty. O'Leary Air offers.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit Finish.
Sorry about that. We'll get O'Leary in our next break. Something accidentally got moved and I wound up playing a PSA cutting off one of our sponsors' ads. Batting number 19 for the Barbers. Cleanup hitter Gabe Coltman, designated hitter, will lead off the second. First pitch in there for a miss for ball one. Is low, evening the actually 2-0 the count. You better look at Anthony Leo. And again, Leo has not found the strike zone in the bottom of the second inning. 3-0 count to Gabe Coltman. Pitch finds the bottom of the strike zone. Both pitchers, I think, have gotten the benefit of a couple of strike calls on 3-0 pitches. I don't think this umpire likes 4-pitch walks very much. Grounder to third. Couple of hops, the toss across, 6-3 to open the bottom of the second. One out for the Barbers. Still no base hits in the contest. 4 straight retired for Anthony Leo. Batting number 4, shortstop Joe Fagan. First pitch called strike. Right down the chute, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is outside. Oh no, late called strike, 0-2. Pitch is lifted straight back. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Pitch is swung on, and that is going to be caught sliding on his backside. Nice catch by the center fielder, Leland Boswell, to rob Coltman of a base hit. Barbers still do not have a base runner here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, and first baseman Declan O'Brien at bat with 2 outs. Pitch just a little bit low underneath the knees. Ball 1. The 1-0 from Leo swung on, and that's going to be a base hit, the first of the game for the Barbers. Declan O'Brien slices one just inside the first base line into the right field. Not quite into the corner, but it will go as a 2-out single on a 1-0 pitch to Declan O'Brien, bringing up number 27, catcher Jace Randall. First pitch from Leo, that's going to be a high chopper to second. Going back on it, the throw to first is in time And the Barbers do get their first base hit of the game, but unable to advance into scoring position is Declan O'Brien. We go to the top of the third inning. Each team now with a base hit, but the Wet Sox able to turn theirs into a run in their first series of at-bats. It's Hillsboro 1 and the Portland Barbers nothing. We'll be back with the top of the third inning right after this.
O'Leary Air is proudly offering Dakin Comfort Pro HVAC products. They've been serving the West Side and Greater Portland Metro since 2015. They pride themselves in getting the job done right, backed by a legacy of integrity, respect, and honesty. O'Leary Air offers competitive pricing on all their work. Give them a call today at 503-989-5251. That's 503-989-5251. Online at o'learyair.com. CCP number 239855.
Do you have your next vacation planned? Whether it's time for a cruise, weekend getaway, or a bucket list resort, let Lazy Hammock Travel in North Plains help you. Lazy Hammock Travel, your passport to relaxation. Call Jason Ackerman at 503-332-5571 or visit their website lazyhammocktravel.com. Lazy Hammock Travel, proud sponsors of Banks Braves Athletics and American Legion Baseball on Westside Mobile Media.
Top of the third inning, Hillsboro still a 1-0 lead. Leading off, number 13, top of the order, right fielder Quentin Olson. First pitch from Martinez outside, ball one. Only one base runner to this point for the Barbers, with Hillsboro batting in the top of the third. Is down and in 2-0. And catcher Jace Randall wants to swap out baseballs. Game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight, the Oklahoma City Thunder at Indiana. Pacers trying to send it to a Game 7. Pitch is lifted to left field, and very little movement that time from Griffin Scott, just ranging back into his right a little bit. Making the catch in left field for out number one. Bringing up number 22, shortstop Nigel Folland. Pitch is ripped foul. A ricochet off the they're off the bottom of the door to the steps up the first base side, just past the outfield end of the first base dugout, being used by Hillsboro. Pitch is outside, 1-1 to Folland. One pitch, strike two called at the knees. You can hear a recap of tonight's game on Westside's Greatest Hits. On Westside's Greatest Hits, which can be found on our website, westsidesgreatesthits.com, or on the Live 365 app. You can also hear our sports updates on Oregon Trail Country if you're a country music fan. The pitch is swung on off speed, fooled him, swung on and missed, comes up empty for out number two. Another strikeout for Mr. Martinez. Batting number 14, third baseman Diego Richards. Also, weather updates for the Tualatin Valley. Could see our first significant rain starting tomorrow and into the weekend. Pitch from Martinez. Rounds one off the end of the bat to short. Throw to first is wide, and they're going to miss the tag. Another error for the Barbers gives Hillsboro an extra opportunity and a 2-out base runner in the top of the third as the throw from Joe Fagan pulled the first baseman, Declan O'Brien, off the bag. Pitches back. Wow, I thought it looked outside, but late called strike from the home plate umpire. Diego Richards, actually, I think, yeah, he's the runner at first. Eli Brial, designated hitter, batting with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Pitches outside, 1-1. Again, we talked about non-professional baseball, college league, and minor leagues at the start of the broadcast. Klamath Falls also briefly had a collegiate summer league baseball team as well. Gresham Grey Wolves, also a one-time member of the West Coast League. 2-1 the count to Shea Munoz. Actually, number 10, number 3, Eli Brial. Ridgefield Raptors, one of the newest West Coast League teams. Ridgefield, one of the fastest growing cities in Washington, home of Alene Casino. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Eli Brial, the hitter. Two pitch, swung on, driven foul off to the right side, well out of play, over the top into the beer garden area. Just at the end of the parking lot as you come into the entrance to the facility. Off to the right side. Count is full to Eli Brial, 2 outs and a runner at first. I expect Diego Richards to go on the pitch. And runner goes, but the pitch is swung on and missed by Eli Brial for out number 3. Another strikeout for Calvin Martinez, 3 in the last 2 innings, but Barbers still have some catching up to do. They trail by a run heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Hillsboro when we return.
Are you looking for a job with flexible hours, a way to support your community, or a first step toward a career in education? ESS has exciting substitute teacher and paraprofessional openings at schools throughout Eastern Yamhill, Columbia, and Washington counties. You'll enjoy creating your own schedule with weekly pay, ongoing training, and benefits. Begin your rewarding career in education by applying today at ess.com.
Banks Post newspaper is the official news provider of West Side's greatest hits. Listen hourly for West Side news from the Banks Post newsroom. Banks Post newspaper covers Banks, Manning, Buxton, Roy, and surrounding western Washington County communities. If you'd like more information on the Banks Post or want to pick up a copy, visit a local business today. You can also visit their website at bankspost.com or their Facebook page, Banks Post. Leading off the bottom of the 3rd for the Barbers, right fielder, number 33, Miles Ott. First pitch low, ball 1. It will be the 8-9-1 hitters for the Barbers in the bottom of the third to lead things off. Pitches line foul off the kind of one of the net tensioners at the very top of the back screen. 1-1. Pitch is well outside. That time could tell even from up here it was not going to graze the edge of the plate. 2-1. Pitch is low. 3 balls and 1 strike. The count. Barbers looking for just their second base runner of the game. Pitch strike 2 over the outer half of the plate. Count is full to Miles Ott. Three-two pitch down and away in the dirt for ball 4. And the Barbers have the tying run aboard with base runners a premium for both teams. You might start to see some small ball here trying to move runners over via sacrifice, hit and run, bunts, anything they can to tie the game still early, but we're starting to reach the midway point as starter Anthony Leo, I think, slipped a little bit as he planted his foot on the delivery. Pitch was fouled into the right side of the screen off the first base side. 0-1. Turns and checks the runner back to first. One pitch. Oh, it's going to be off the heel of the glove, and I think if Miles Ott had been charging hard on the play, he might have reached third, but had to kind of wait to see if he was going to get caught in a double play. Instead, it goes off the heel of the glove of the second baseman, Cole Thomas. And Max Bishop is going to reach on a one-out or on a error here in the bottom of the third from Hillsboro, and the Barbers have their first runner in scoring position with Miles Ott at second base. Still nobody out. And there we go with the small ball. Pitch is grounded back to the pitcher. Throw to first is in time, but it will move the runners over. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Pitch taken all the way for strike 1 to Griffin Scott. The 0-1 pitch is down the first baseline foul. Going to go about halfway, kind of near the edge of the green turf and the brown turf off the first base side, kind of towards where the, almost even with the edge of the brown and green turf, signifying the edge of the infield and outfield. 0-2 pitch. Hillsboro wanted it, maybe a touch low. Griffin Scott to good eye on that delivery on ball 1, 1-2 the count. Big pitch for Hillsboro, trying to record the second out with runners in scoring position. The 1-2, strike 3 called. It's the second out of the game for the Barbers, and 2 runners in scoring position at second and third, and now 2 outs for number 18, Dakota Chun, trying to at least bring in the tying run. And now a sacrifice will not do it. Their second out of the inning, I should say. Pitch is a low strike, 0-1. On the left-handed hitter. Oh, and 2 the count. John let that ball go past. The 0-2 from Leo. This is way outside. Can't get him to chase. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barbers reach on a walk and an error. Reach into scoring position on a sacrifice bunt. Swung on, and it's going to be popped up. And caught by the second baseman to preserve the 1-run lead for Hillsboro. Dakota Chun flies out to second base to end the third. The Barbers threaten with 2 runners moving into scoring position with a 1 out, but Hillsboro gets back-to-back outs to end the third and end the threat for the Barbers. After 3, still the Barbers unable to get on the board. Hillsboro with a 1 run. We go to the top of the 4th. Still only 2 hits total in this game. We'll be back in just a moment.
Divine Home Solutions can upgrade your kitchen with quality cabinets. Divine Home Solution focuses on quick turnaround time from lead to completion. They also have luxury vinyl plank flooring as well. Don't just make your kitchen beautiful, make it divine. Divine Home Solutions, 971-407-6742 or 971-325-7759 and online at divinehome.solutions.
Legacy Roofing can save your home from leaks, mold, and other issues related to an older roof, preventing future roof issues, saving you thousands of dollars. They use only the most trusted materials backed by an excellent warranty that is transferred if you ever sell your home. Legacy is tops in their field, earning the GAF Master Elite certification and the Golden Pledge warranty. For more information or to get a free quote, call 503-357-7663 today. And we're back top of the 4th inning. First pitch to Grayson Grover is lifted to center field underneath it to make the catch. Max Bishop for 1 out, 1 pitch in the top of the 4th inning. Batting number 2, left fielder Shea Munoz Cooper. Pitch is a strike over the outer half. The 0-1 from Martinez, again lifted to the outfield underneath it. This time will be in left field Griffin Scott. 3 pitches, 2 outs. Number 20, center fielder Leland Boswell. Sawyer Hewitt, the Red Sox catcher, will come to the plate if Boswell is able to reach. Martinez, again, a 4-pitch inning, taking his hat off, chasing it down towards right center. Max Bishop for out number 3, 4-pitch inning for Calvin Martinez. Nice way to save your arm as we start to get through the middle innings. Bottom of the 4th, in a 7-inning contest. It's still Hillsboro 1 and Portland nothing.
Casey Ogden is a healthcare expert with more than 40 years in the field serving others and is college certified in nursing and healthcare administration. Her business, Casey Ogden Healthcare Services, offers everything you need for home health, from limited medical equipment, meal preparation, medication management, medical transportation, and more. Call 971-273-6058 or email caseyogden.hcs.llc@gmail.com.
Your local lender, Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, is here to walk you through every step in purchasing your new home. Christy and her team bring trusted knowledge and years of experience to make your home loan financing process an enjoyable one. If you're in the business or have questions about purchasing or refinancing your home, call Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, 503-327-5302, or visit uhm.com/kvanmeter. Union Home Mortgage, official sponsor of the PBR. Union Home Mortgage promises kept. Christy Van Meter is licensed in Oregon 1700271, Washington MLO-1700271, and Arizona 1039867. Union Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. And we're back bottom of the fourth. Hillsboro has really, the Barbers have really had, Portland has really had Hillsboro's number over the last few years. Back when we first started broadcasting American Legion baseball, the Hillsboro Wet Sox did not exist, and they were known as the Hillsboro Barbers, playing home games at Liberty High School. Now they're back playing home games at Liberty High School this year. And the Wet Sox splitting time between Ad Rutschman Field and Hillsboro, home of the Hillsboro Spartans high school baseball team, as that pitch misses in the dirt. Low, ball one from Leo, again missing even further outside, 2-0. Last couple of years, Barbers have been playing home games at Tigard and Aloha High School, but this year Aloha has kind of had their turf field shut down for field replacement. The first pitch, there's the first strike of the at-bat on that pitch from Leo, 2-1. Up foul off the plate, waiting back on it up the line. Nice defensive play, throw across. Able to dig it out is the first baseman, Grayson Grover, for one out in the bottom of the fourth. And that was such a long throw that had to be made by the third baseman, Diego Richards. I would not have been surprised if Coltman had reached even on a clean throw, but a much quicker player might have reached on the play. But Coltman, a lot of home run power, two or three home runs in the state championship victory over Grant. He's headed to South Carolina upstate next season to play baseball. The 1-0 misses inside to hitter Joe Fagan, shortstop for the Barbers with one out. And pitch is driven to center field. Underneath it, make the catch for out number two, Leland Boswell. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. Still, each team only 2 base hits. And this may come down to a 1-0, 2-1 type contest. Last night it was 3-2. Number 7, first baseman Declan O'Brien. Actually, each team with 1 base hit, 2 hits total in the contest. First pitch to O'Brien is a called strike, 0-1. If you like defense, you've came to the right place. The 0-1 pitch is off the glove of catcher Sawyer Hewitt, but 2 outs, no runners aboard. One and one to Declan O'Brien, first baseman for the Barbers. 2 outs, bottom of the fourth inning. Pitch trapped by Hewitt in the dirt, 2-1. The 2-1 from Leo, chopper to second, throw to first in time for out number 3. Almost a perfect game for each team. Just 1 run for Hillsboro on a 1 hit and 1 error. Barbers just 1 hit, 2 errors as we go to the top of the 5th. Still, it's Hillsboro with a 1-0 lead.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
And we're back, top of the 5th inning. Hillsboro still leading 1-0. A closer look at Barbers pitcher Calvin Martinez. Leading off for Hillsboro, number 8, catcher Sawyer Hewitt. Neither team going to their bullpen yet. We're in the top of the 5th inning. First pitch, a strike at the knees to the Wet Sox catcher, 0-1. A 1 pitch, breaking ball in. Oh, cutter catches the inside part of the plate, 0-2. Two-strike pitch for Martinez. Strike 3 called. Ring him up. Out. Number 1. 4 strikeouts through the last 3 innings for Calvin Martinez. Number 24, second baseman Cole Thomas. And Thomas is jammed, racing in, making the catch is Bishop all the way into shallow left center field. Bishop as shortstop for the Barbers. Joe Fagan also in the area. 2 outs for Hillsboro in the top of the 5th as the pace of the contest picks up just a little bit with Hillsboro hitters making first pitch contact. The delivery from Martinez is strike 1 called. Not quite first pitch every at bat, but definitely early in the pitch count. The 0-1 is in the dirt that time. 1 ball and 1 strike. Barbers still trying to keep it a 1-run game. When they come up to bat in the bottom of the 5th, this is slicing foul off the third base line. That's going to bang off the railing in front of one of the VIP areas where we had a pitch go foul off the tarp roof of the same VIP area yesterday. The 1-2 to Quentin Olson, top of the order again, foul. Take a couple of high bounces off the concourse. Youngster about like 18 months, maybe 2 years old. Not much older than like maybe just being able to walk in his development stage, able to toddle that baseball down and come home with the souvenir. Probably not even old enough to talk yet. Pitch is lined to left field, making the catch for the Barbers, Griffin Scott, for out number 3. The toddler making the catch, probably old enough to talk, but not really old enough to really understand what happened, other than the fact he found a ball. Bottom of the 5th inning, still Hillsboro 1 and the Barbers nothing. Barbers starting to run out of time in a great defensive contest. Bottom of the 5th inning when we return.
Are you passionate about making a positive impact on the environment? Are you ready to turn your passion for sales into a home-based adventure? We have an exciting opportunity for you. With our flexible work-from-home opportunity, you have the freedom to set your own hours. No more rigid schedules or commuting hassles. Work on your terms and achieve the work-life balance you've always desired. Say goodbye to quotas and hello to flexibility. You set your own hours, ensuring the perfect work-life balance. But it gets better. Get paid for making a difference. Help people transition to clean energy and contribute to a healthier planet. Your success is not just measured in sales, but in the positive impact you make on people and the environment. Ready to make a difference while earning from the comfort of your home? Call us at 503-83-94949 to join our team and be part of our solar revolution.
And we're back as Logan Nakamura takes his first turn at the plate. Barbers looking to try to do anything they can to get runners aboard and at least tie this contest. Pitch is ripped foul into the bottom of the fence in front of the Hillsboro dugout off the first base side. 1-2. And it's going to hit him, and there's a base runner for the Barbers to lead off the bottom of the 5th. Now, might we expect some more of what we saw in the top of the 5th, or in the bottom of the 4th, with crafty baseball trying to manufacture runs via sacrifices and bunts. Nakamura with speed as well. Just fouled off the catcher's mask or helmet. 0-1 the count as the ball bounces all the way back into fair territory. They'll stop play momentarily to get the ball back in play after the foul ball. Fouled straight back and ricocheted all the way back inside the third base line, about 10 feet up. Pitch is inside to even the count, 1-1. Fans of Major League Baseball in Oregon got good news earlier this week. State legislature approving $800 million through a jock tax or a player and personnel tax for any pro baseball team that would come to Portland to help fund a new baseball project that can't remember the location right now, but I think it's going to be underneath one of the bridges close to the south waterfront. Throw to first on a 0-2 pitch, not in time to get Jaden. Miles Ott, the hitter. Runner at first goes, and Nakamura is going to be, luckily the throw was a little bit long, and then backed Grayson Grover off the line. Otherwise, Barbers would have been in trouble with a 8-3 double play. One out For top of the order, Jada Nakamura, second baseman. Actually, correction, it's Max Bishop, the center fielder, bottom of the order. Pitch is going to be lifted over the head of the second baseman. Jada Nakamura, though, is going to be held at second base, one out, and Hillsboro can once again keep the Barbers off the board with a double play, but the runner in scoring position likely will score with a base hit from Jaden Nakamura on just the second hit of the game for the Barbers. I should say as he reaches second base on the second hit of the game for the Barbers. Breaking ball just misses outside, ball one. 66 degrees, overcast, mostly cloudy skies, a few sun breaks, but rain is expected possibly as soon as tomorrow. Also, thunderstorms could also occur throughout the area in the afternoon. 2-0 the count to Jaden Nakamura. Leo steps off, looks Jaden back to second, runners at first and second. 2-0 the count to second baseman Jaden Nakamura. Runner at second goes, and throw to second late, not in time. Both runners will advance on the pitch. So now first base is open. Home plate umpire not giving the count signal. The 3-0. Breaking ball catches the wide part of the plate, 3-1. And slicing foul off the first base side. That's going to ricochet off the brick facade of Hillsboro Stadium. Count is full 3-2. And again, another huge moment in this game, a 3-2 count for Jaden Nakamura. One out. Leo needing one more pitch, one more strike for out number two. Barbers, with a miss at the plate, would have the bases loaded, or a base hit or even a sacrifice could tie the game. Still full count to Jaden Nakamura as that pitch is chopped foul off the first base side. 3-2 pitch goes down to get it, and that's going to bring in the tying run as it's lifted to left field. The play at the plate, the throw will not be in time. There will be no throw to the plate, and we're tied at 1 on the sacrifice to left from Jaden Nakamura, and that will bring up Griffin Scott with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs, tied at 1. Great defensive baseball being played in this minor league ballpark, home of the Hillsboro Hops, single A affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks. At the Tri-City Dust Devils tonight, single A affiliate of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And before Leo delivers a pitch to Griffin Scott, he'll step off and look the runner back to second. Pitches swung on and ripped to foul. That's the closest we've seen to a home run tonight. That's going to be angled off foul off the third base side, about halfway between the end of the metal bleachers and the 325 marker. Pitch, strike 2 called. Leo 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning, allowing just the tying run to score. And it hits him, and runners at first and second. They're going to say it went off the bat? Are they going to accuse him of crowding the plate? And Joe Duran, he's having a conversation with the home plate umpire, does not appear to be arguing too much, but they are going to call Griffin Scott out at the plate, and Jason Fritz also very animated in his discussion with the home plate umpire, and it's out number 3 on hitter interference, similar to Oregon State's first loss against Coastal Carolina on their way to 2 straight defeats that cost them to be eliminated from the College World Series. After 5, Barbers do get the tying run on a base hit and a couple of sacrifices, actually a double steal and a sacrifice. White Sox of Hillsboro, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. And the post 158 Portland Barbers of Tigard, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors. We're all tied as we go to the top of the 6th inning on Westside'sGreatestHits.com and Westside Mobile Media on YouTube.
The Army National Guard plays a vital role in your community. We're on the front lines supporting essential personnel, first responders, law enforcement, and medical professionals, delivering food, supplies, and medicine, keeping communities safe, making a difference. During emergencies, we're always ready, always there. Learn more about part-time service in the Army National Guard at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Oregon Army National Guard, aired by the Oregon Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Top of the 6th inning, a 7-inning contest unless we remain tied. After the 7th inning, pitches outside to number 2 hitter, Nigel Folland, shortstop for Hillsboro. It will be Folland, Richards, and Brial. The 2-3-4 hitters to come up in the top of the 6th for the White Sox. The pitch from Martinez, that's going to be lifted to right, and coming in to track it down and make the catch is the right fielder, who starting the contest at that position was number 33, Miles Ott. But with a fairly deep bench for the Barbers, we may be starting to see some different players come in off the bench. We do have a pitcher warming up in the Barbers bullpen. First time we've seen a pitcher warming up for either side, and throw across, beautiful play from Dakota Chun, the throw to first in time. As we do indeed have a new first baseman, it will be number 16, Connor Perry, now at first base, making the catch on the toss from Mr. Chun. 0-2 the count, and also new catcher, number 2, Kieran Kelly, 2 outs for Hillsboro in the top of the 6th. Pitch in the dirt, ball 1, 2 outs to Eli Brial. Pitch on the outer half, 0-1-1. One pitch, swung on and down the first base side. Behind the bag on the edge of the green turf, making the catch will be Connor Perry for out number 3. And the White Sox will be set down in order in the bottom of the 6th inning. Still tied at 1 as we go to the home half. And the Barbers coming to the plate. We'll be back in just a moment.
Jim's Market in Banks is an institution serving the community for generations. They're actively involved in events and athletics from the youth league to high school level. Let them serve you with their locally grown fresh produce, fresh bakery items, including custom cakes, and quick hot food from their in-store deli. Jim's Market, conveniently located at the south entrance to Banks.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
And we're back, bottom of the sixth inning. Barbers trying to take the lead for the first time tonight. Leading off, number 18, Dakota Chun at third base. First pitch from Leo, low, ball one. And I think we have somebody warming up now in the Hillsboro bullpen as well. Pitch is swung on. That's going to get into the corner on a hop. And coming over to didn't get quite down in the corner as far as we thought it would, but it's still a leadoff single to right for Dakota Chun. No extra base hits tonight for either team. Just the third hit of the game for the Barbers. I think we're going to get a new hitter into the game for the Barbers. Gabe Coltman started to come out of the dugout. Now he's going to head back down the steps. And it will be not Gabe Coltman. Looks like hitting for speed. Number 3, Torsten Hersom, his first at bat this evening. And whoever was in the bullpen for the Barbers has now come out. Hersom shows bunt. Comes up empty 0-1. Well, they may just be trying to use him in a sacrifice opportunity to try to get the go-ahead run into scoring position. What would be the first out likely? Chopped up the first base side, but quickly goes foul, and now Hersom will have to swing the bat with 2 strikes. The 0-2 throw to first. Pitch is swung on, chop foul. Barbers really need to at least move Dakota Chun over, and it's lifted foul off the third base side. And out here from Hersom via a strikeout or not being able to advance the runner would put the Barbers in a tough one-out situation, and Hillsboro with a great opportunity at a double play, and he's able to work a high pitch up out of the strike zone from Leo. 1-2. Leo comes set. Right-hander fires. Pitches through the gap. And they're going to keep the runners at first and second. Still nobody out. The 4th hit of the game. And now the bats are starting to come alive a little bit here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Barbers. Second hit of the inning for Portland, and runners at first and second. Nobody out, and Hillsboro head coach Mason Wright maybe wanting a little bit of a defensive shift. And it's punted foul by Joe Fagan, 0-1. Base hit could score 2 runs. Definitely speed at first. Again, bunted this time, fair ball up the third base side. Bare hand throw to first, not in time. The third hit of the inning for the Barbers, and the Portland Barbers bench comes alive with some chatter. Bases loaded, nobody out. Bullpen is empty for Hillsboro. 1 run, 1 hit for Hillsboro. 1 run, 5 hits for Portland. Anthony Leo staying on the mound for the Wet Sox. First pitch swinging, home run attempt is empty from Connor Perry, strike 1. But even a double play ground ball would give the Barbers the lead. It's just low in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher, and the go-ahead run's going to score on a pass ball wild pitch. It's 2-1 Barbers. One and one the count. Connor Perry, the hitter. 2-1 Barbers lead, a run in each of the last 2 innings. A late called strike 2 on a pitch that looked low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-1 Barbers now in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody out, and runners in scoring position at second and third. Pitch is low and away. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Check with the infield umpire, says no swing. Pitch from Leo, swung on through. Ooh, incredible diving stop. Throw to first is the only play. A nice defensive effort from number 22, Nigel Folland, for the 6-3 sacrifice. But it will move a runner home, and 2 outs, 3-1 Barbers in the bottom of the 6th. And that may be it for Anthony Leo. We've definitely seen professional level effort here tonight at this minor league facility between the Portland Barbers and the Hillsboro Wet Sox. The way I've seen these 2 teams play over the last 2 games, I would not be surprised to see both teams advance to the state tournament at University of Portland about a month or so away from now. Actually, about a month and a week. July 25th through the 31st. Joe Etzel Field. Second at bat for Logan Nakamura, runner at third. That is just the first out of the game, or first out of the inning for the Barbers. Ground ball up the middle, that will score another run. Joe Fagan crosses the plate for Portland as they're finally starting to break through. Now 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. First baseman Declan O'Brien. Throw to second is wide of the bag, and Logan Nakamura got up quickly. Thought he may have had it play at third base, but he's going to stay put at second, as it's actually going to be Kieran Kelly, the hitter. 1-0 the count, 4-1 Barbers in the bottom of the sixth. Looking to remain undefeated, and we're going to get a balk on Leo, and that will move Logan Nakamura over to third, 1 out. I think tonight has been a much tighter contest, at least up until the sixth inning, and that game was much closer, though, a 3-2 victory by the Barbers. That first pitch to Kieran Kelly also misses down and away, 2-0. Outside, late called strike, 2-1. Leo, the 2-1 pitch, swung on and chopped off the plate. It is ruled foul. I think it hit the plate first before it kind of had a lot of English on it and knuckled its way about halfway between the plate and the mound, and then kicked almost all the way back foul. But foul ball chopped off the plate. 2-2 pitch from Leo. Grounder off the end of the bat, comes to the plate, and the tag is there for out number 2. Reaching on the fielder's choice be Kieran Kelly. 2 outs for number 9, Max Bishop, who got the nod in center field tonight. But the way this game has felt, at least up until the bottom of the sixth inning, a 3-run lead seems like 5 or 6 at this point in the contest, especially with Hillsboro down to their final 3 outs. They had a 1-0 lead entering the bottom of the fifth. Pitch is strike at the knees to Mr. Bishop, 0-1. It's strike 2 on a cutter inside. And barring any kind of late inning heroics from Hillsboro, we should be out of here before 8 o'clock. A few minutes before 7:30, and a pitch knuckled back to the pitcher, and we go to the top of the 7th inning. Barbers looking for their 10th straight win to open the season. Portland Barbers 4 and Hillsboro 1. Wet Sox down to their final 3 outs when we return after this from Sarah Hesselman.
Same great smile, same great service, but a brand new location and a great new team. Sarah Hesselman Group is still proud to support Banks High School athletics, but has now joined the Premier Property Group real estate team with new offices located in Bethany. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, contact the Sarah Hesselman Group, Sarah at sarahhesselman.com, or call 503-313-0748.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
And we're back with the top of the 7th inning. Hillsboro down to their final 3 outs. Leading off the final effort from the Wet Sox will be number 10, first baseman Grayson Grover. Hillsboro could not get anything done offensively until the bottom of the 5th. Able to tie on a sacrifice to left, and then breaking through with 3 runs in their last series of at-bats in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch to Grover is outside. 1-0. 89 runs through their first 8 games, held to 3 yesterday and 4 tonight. If that stands, would bump the offensive average for the Barbers down under 10 runs a game, about 9.7. If they remain at 4 for the final score tonight. 3-0 the count, though, to Grayson Grover and Martinez. Like the Barbers were going to give him a chance to get a complete game, but Torsten Hersom back up in the bullpen for the Barbers. And pitch misses inside, a 4-pitch walk for Grayson Grover. And it's going to draw a visit from pitching coach Jason Fritz. Give Hersom a little time to get some extra pitches in to warm up in the bullpen if he is so called upon. If Hillsboro somehow is able to get the tying run aboard. We'll keep things here unless a pitching change is indeed made, but I doubt that will happen now. Nice effort by Mr. Martinez to this point. He had kind of a little bit of an inconsistent start, balls and strikes wise, to the contest, but has only allowed 1 run on 1 base hit and 2 errors from his defense. Jay Munoz Cooper, the left fielder, hitting for Hillsboro. Pitch low and away, ball 1. 1 run in the first for Hillsboro, 1 in the 5th, and 3 in the 6th for the Barbers. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error for the Wet Sox. 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Barbers. Pitch just low, 2-0 the count to Mr. Cooper. Hard grounder to second. This could be 2. The throw to second, to first, in time for the twin killing. And that just about does it. Not quite. Still 1 more out for Hillsboro for a late rally opportunity. A ABC series in the early 90s based on a high school teacher called Hanging with Mr. Cooper. And this should do it. Driven to center field, going back. Bishop makes the catch over his shoulder, drifting back for out number 3. It wasn't pretty early, a defensive contest much of the way, but the Barbers finally able to break through in the final 2 innings, especially in the 6th inning, scoring 3 runs on 4 base hits. And at the end of the contest, final score, the Portland Barbers in an entertaining contest with a 4-1 victory. 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, 1 run, 1 base hit, 1 error for Hillsboro. A great contest and actually a great pair of defensive contests tonight after Hillsboro came in averaging over 11 runs a contest. Their average now goes to 9.7 runs per game on the year, 97 runs through 2 games scored. They'd given up 23 runs entering last night's contest. Now 26 through 10 games. An average of 2.6 runs allowed per contest. And Joe Duran pretty excited about his team this year. And despite the fact that heading into last night's game, all of their wins had been by blowout fashion, this team has shown that they're able to win close games as well, with the 1-run victory last night and coming from behind for the first time this season after a 1-0 first inning deficit for the 4-1 victory. That will do it for us. Again, final score, Barbers break through 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning and set down Hillsboro in order in the top of the 7th. Final score, Portland Barbers improved to 10-0 with the 4-1 victory over the Hillsboro Wet Sox. We hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. It will be time for the weekend for us. We hope you enjoyed as well. Good night and God bless.